Inspiration sparks and raises our vibration, encouraging all of us to live our best lives. It is now my pleasure to welcome our speaker for this evening, Elaine Hager. Elaine will be serving Spirit and us with an inspirational reading and address this evening. Elaine is a graduate of the University of Metaphysical Sciences, where she earned a Master's of Divinity degree and a PhD in metaphysics. She currently serves as a trustee on the SCoA board. She is an ordained minister, a spiritual healer, and medium. She teaches spiritual philosophy and theology throughout the United States. Her life mission is to help others progress and help others who seek spiritual progress. A warm Harmony Harbor welcome to Elaine.
Okay, had a little glitch there. I wasn't able to unmute. Hello, everyone. The reading I chose today is from a book called Until Today by Iyanla Vanzant. It's a God job. There are simply some things in life you're not going to be able to do anything about. There will be those occasions when you simply cannot change what happens or how it happens. There will be those times in your life when your hands are tied, your mind is blank, your mouth is shut, and you feel totally helpless. These are God jobs. These are experiences of God working on you, in you, through you, and for you. Although you want to get involved, although you feel the need to do something when God is working, your job is to be still. There is nothing more challenging than sitting through a God job. Yes, you will feel weak. Yes, you may feel stupid. Unfortunately, there is nothing you can do, nor is there anything you need to do except wait. In the midst of a God job, there is nothing you need to say. There is no place you need to go. There is no amount of fixing, figuring out, or trying that will make you want what you want to happen the way you want it to happen. When God is on the job, working on you, in you, and for you, there is no one and nothing on the planet that can help you through what you're going through. On a God job, the only course of action is total, undaunted, microscopic trust. You must become a child again. You must trust that you will be fed, that you will be changed, that you will be protected, that your every need will be met. It may feel like you're being passive, but the truth is, if you can trust God in the midst of a challenge, God can do more in 5 minutes than you could do in 5 years. Until today, you may have been trying to do for yourself what only God can do for you. Just for today, be devoted to trusting that God is on the job, doing what needs to be done, the way it needs to be done, working toward the best possible outcome for your best interest. Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you about a a subject that I'm not so sure I ever really believed in until relatively recently. I'm talking about soulmates. And I've done a lot of homework on it. If you were to reflect back upon some of your life's greatest challenges, there's a good chance that those challenges in some way involved events surrounding another person or people. How often have you heard about a difficult childhood or marriage or relationship that resulted in justifying the reason why a person is angry or mistrustful or fearful or any other number of negative traits? Perhaps you can personally identify with what is being said and give credence to some occurrence that caused you to frame a negative perspective of yourself. If that happened to you, I'm so very sorry. On the flip side of this, in equal proportion, are those individuals who have influenced you in ways that have been uplifting and positive. Your life is a reflection of where you choose to focus your attention. You can choose to think about the positive influences in your life or the negative. One way of thinking generates happiness, and the other does not. So, in talking to you about soulmates today, I hope to give you a reason to shift your perspective about the experiences in your life that are keeping you separated from seeing yourself as the perfect soul that you are. What is a soulmate? Well, the stereotypical vision of a soulmate is the person that you fall in love with romantically, and the two of you live in loving bliss for the rest of your lives. You like the same things, you like to go to the same places, you have the same habits and hobbies. You see them from across the room, lock eyes with them, and instantaneously know you will be together forever. If that sounds like a fairy tale, well, you're right. This type of soulmate is exceedingly rare. Is there any information that scientifically that supports the theory of soulmates? Well, the short answer to that is yes and no. Science acknowledges feelings of deep connections to others that don't seem to have any logical explanation. Is that the way science chooses to define soulmates without actually using the words soulmate? Yeah, maybe. I'll leave that up to you to decide. I suppose from a scientific perspective, it might be difficult to define soulmates when science is yet to prove to its own satisfaction that souls actually exist in the first place. Science is more comfortable leaving topics such as this to religionists and metaphysical practitioners and theorists. But I'm here to tell you that absence of proof is not proof of absence. And more than 95% of the world's population holds a belief in life after death or soul survival. There are many versions of soulmates. Wayne Dyer says, your soulmate is the person you can't stand. His premise is that soulmates are those people who can round us out by being our best teachers. They show up and teach us about self-mastery. Anytime another person pushes your buttons and you have an emotional reaction to what they say or do, that's your sign that you have a shadow within you that's keeping you from your inner peace. What these people show you is that you haven't mastered yourself on some level. Anyone ever lose their patience with someone? Soulmates are masters of teaching that common lesson, patience. How do they show up in our lives? Well, often they're the ones we can't get rid of. Our parents, our in-laws, our crazy relatives. And the best teachers are often our children. Why our children? Because our ego wants us to be right and keep our children in a place of subservience. Adults know best, right? But how often have you heard a person say they learned a lot through raising their children? Soulmates are often platonic. Here are some things that you may encounter if you meet your soulmate. You may find this very confusing because you feel an irresistible, intimate pull towards someone, but there's no romantic attachment to it. Many people are unaccustomed to feeling strong, intimate feelings outside of romantic relationships. It's just natural for us when we feel connected to somebody that strongly to think that there must be some sort of romantic involvement there. But there's a good chance that that's not so. When that happens, it can not only be confusing, but scary. It can feel like you're stepping off a cliff without a parachute. It can cause you to have very mixed emotions of an exquisite love, and at the same time, you may wish that this person never came into your life because it seems so hard to find your emotional balance. You may have a sense that there's something special and significant going on in your life that involves this other person when you first meet them, but you can't quite grasp what it is. You may feel obsessed with thoughts of this person and not understand why. According to Julianne Cantarella, a certified relationship coach and licensed social worker, a platonic soulmate is a friend who relates with you deeply, and your bond with this person surpasses all other bonds in the world. There is no romance or sexual connection with them. And she goes on to explain that the soulmate relationship is your perfect match. Soulmates can come into your life as teachers and mentors. They're the people who had a significant impact upon your life, one or ones who changed your perspective about life, yourself, or the world. Defining the term soulmate is subjective because there are so many definition variations. But the primary motivation behind this connection is always one of positivity. because a soulmate motivates you to gain expertise and awareness of yourself. This relationship comes to you so you can learn how to round yourself out into being the best version of you that you can be. So far, there's been 3 soulmate types of soulmates identified: the teacher mentor soulmate, the friendship soulmate, and the romantic partner soulmate. There are other soul ties. Sometimes a soulmate comes into your life temporarily to achieve a mutual goal. Once the goal has been met, the relationship ends, and that usually happens very abruptly. It can cause you to feel grief and great sorrow. Karmic soulmates come together to finish some unfinished debt they created between them. And past life soulmates are those who have previously been together as soulmates and have a desire to remain together. This is the most lasting of all soulmate relationships. Kindred soulmates are also known as your tribe. Your tribe is comprised of acquaintances and friends that are drawn together to support and encourage you. Often your tribe will consist of people who have a common interest that can range from a love for a hobby that you have in common to being drawn together because of some cause or belief. And there's one more similar relationship that's worth exploring. That's a twin flame relationship. While soulmates are 2 separate individuals, a twin flame, as defined by Savas, is your own soul shared across what appears to be 2 physical beings. One soul split into 2 bodies. With twin flames, there is an intense emotional connection on a spiritual level. They enrich each other and care about the other's welfare. While they may not be together physically, they are attracted energetically, and there is a sense of being incomplete when apart, and a wholeness when together. A twin flame relationship is an intense spiritual oneness connection that is often felt emotionally. Twin flames share a high spiritual intimacy when they're together. They share similar life experiences and tend to react to circumstances in similar manners. They strongly believe they are meant for one another, and the relationship is almost always platonic. They often recognize their closeness soon after coming in contact with one another, although it may be a while before they discuss their feelings, because their feelings are often very intense. Twin flames share one spiritual heart and soul. Now that soulmate and twin flame relationships have been put into words, you may realize that you have a soulmate in your life right now. It's very important to live your life consciously aware of the people who come into your life. It would be very sad indeed if you missed an opportunity to be with a soulmate. Sometimes one of you recognize it more strongly than the other. As the spirit being that you are, currently experiencing life through a physical expression, it can be challenging to interpret all the different relationships that you encounter. Some people that you come in contact with are nothing more than a casual glance, really. Those encounters hold little or no significant meaning. The casual conversation at the grocery store or the gas pump may be nothing more than an exchange of conversational pleasantries that just brighten the day. Living your life consciously means that you're receptive to all the opportunities that may come your way. And as most of us well know, often opportunity comes when you least expect it. Living in conscious awareness, attuned to your surroundings and the people that come into your life, will help you recognize significant connections more readily. And those connections serve to help you gain a greater understanding of yourself. So, in all this, know that it's possible that your soulmate may not recognize the relationship as a soul connection. When that happens, the relationship can feel difficult and sometimes frustrating. Both of you will gain from being together, but sometimes the interaction and lessons between the two of you will lean more heavily to one side or the other. If that shows up for you, it may help to focus your thoughts on remembering the reason you were brought together in the first place. Soul connections are always meant to help you gain a better understanding of yourself. There is a soul at the center of nature. It's the source that gives your life animation. It ripples through each one of you, and you cannot ever be separated from it. You'll shed your outer layer one day. It's the superficial layer called the body that people have come to know you by. But it's only a temporary housing that provides you with an ability to experience the physical world. You're not your body. But for now, you only know life through a finite organism of the body that's called the brain. Because you're temporarily functioning through the limitations of your brain and body, you're seeing yourself in a very limited fashion, and you don't have the capability, none of us do, to transcend your own thinking beyond the capacity of your brain, of what your brain is capable of processing. In that, you remain for the time being somewhat of a mystery, even to yourself. Eventually, you'll come to understand yourself in an entirely different level. You'll still think, but your thinking will no longer be confined by the limitations of the physical world. On a soul level, you know this, but it can be difficult to tap into this part of you that is the God within. Nevertheless, God is there as your senior partner and the business manager of your life. It is the God within you that is your ultimate, unfaltering, eternal soulmate, waiting for your discovery, your recognition, and your acknowledgement. The very best soulmate you can possibly have is your relationship with yourself. This is what makes you complete and whole. This world will be very different when people allow themselves to be seen soul side out. And so it is that I thank you for allowing me to share myself with you, soul to soul.